Tales from the Black Mountains. Once upon a time, in a place not too far away, there was a land of rugged hills and towering mountains, dancing streams and endless rivers, valleys deep and caves dark, magic, wonder, and worlds apart from the normal and the mundane. A land where dragons roam and creatures speak, trees whisper and heroes sleep. This is the land of the Black Mountains, deep in the heart of Wales, the wind of the sleeping sails, for when night descends and your dreams whisk you away, there is nowhere better to journey and forget the troubles of a day. Let your body relax and walk side by side with the voice of the mountains. Let me be your guide. Tonight our tale takes us skipping up vale and hill, twisting along old country lanes and soaring above valleys below. We catch a glimpse of the forest, wise and old, as we continue upwards, bracing the cold, dodging boulders and rockfalls, climbing ever higher. The land beneath our feet turns rocky and barren as we feel the wind lash us with whips of rain. Still we climb to join the same two we know so well, little Johnny Morgan and red-breasted Larry, as they huddle in the mouth of a cave, waiting out the worst of the Welsh hail that attacks the ground in front of them and ricochets off the rocks to their sides. They have been here for some time, the slashing of the storm making it impossible to climb higher still. For they need to climb higher if they are to discover the home of the waterfall, climb up the top of a Mynydd and past Dewi's Causeway. Very few have been this way before. Very few have the courage to make this journey, but here are two small in stature but big in heart. They wait the entire night for the storm to move along. They are cold and they are hungry, but they refuse to sing the song of those enabled to carry on. And so, with the sky still a blanket of charcoal grey, they begin to move away. The climbing is easy for a Larry having wings to fly, but for Johnny Morgan the going is nigh on impossible. The valley walls he used to dream about crossing were not a fraction of the height that he now attempts at topping. He begins to wonder why he had been so keen to see more. This journey was hard, it was tough, the going was unbelievably rough. Would the waterfall be worth it? Maybe, he thought. I guess there's only one way to find out. And put his head down and stretched his legs. The fire in his chest refused to be put out, and he climbed higher and higher. I'm proud of you, Johnny Morgan, cried Larry, barely making a sound. Not much further now, and we'll be on flat ground. And sure enough, with one last leap, Johnny Morgan's hooves clattered on a flat plain of sheer rock. But it was the silence that appeared to shock little Johnny Morgan. Strangely up here, the wind seemed to disappear. The fury of the storm and charcoal grey skies had drifted from sight. A crystal clear blue azure was taking its place. The sky up here larger than Johnny Morgan had ever known, and basking in its beauty, he looked back down at where he had begun, and slowly began to think, perhaps it isn't the destination, but a journey that takes you right to the brink, the edge of a great chasm below, that really comes to let you know who you are. It was as Johnny Morgan turned to look at Hilary that his mood changed. The look on her face was far from profound, and for the first time Johnny saw what looked like fear in red-breasted Hilary's eyes. She was fixed, staring towards the skies, above where a great pair of wings were circling them both. "Dewey's Causeway," she barely muttered before a flash of shadow silenced his stutter, and on a rock in front of them there came a slow but chilling laugh. "Oh, ho, ho, Hilary, my dear! I thought I'd never see you again." And perched like a king on a throne of stone sat Dewey, a large red kite. His talons wrapped the rock, and his ruddy red wings furled slowly into his sleek and sharp body. "Dewey." Hilary could say little more as the shaking in her body silenced the roar that usually lived inside that red breast. The roar that had sent them all fleeing to join the rest of its company in the forest wise and old. This was different. Dewey seemed to have a hold over little Hilary, and she was helpless to do otherwise. There was a hierarchy in the skies, and Dewey, the largest of the birds of prey, could do and say whatever he liked. Why so shy, Hilary? I haven't forgot the way you escaped from my grasp. I really thought I'd never have the chance to get you again, but here we are. You, me, and not a star in sight. Oh yes, don't imagine I'd not have caught you if it hadn't been night. I don't plan to fail a second time. Oh, do not cry, little bird. Do not fret. I haven't caught you yet. As Dewey laughed, his wings rippling with a chilling sheen, something happened he had not foreseen. Now perhaps it was neglect or simply poor manners, but Dewey seemed to completely forget that little Johnny Morgan was there, focused entirely as he sized up Hilary, and this didn't sit right with that little sheep. Hilary was his friend and had helped him without end on this journey. Seeing someone who was bigger abuse someone small tended that fire within his soul. You see, a red kite is the largest of the birds here in the Black Mountains, and Dewey the largest of them all, but little Johnny Morgan was red-breasted Hilary's friend, and size or reputation mattered not as he watched Dewey offend and threaten this robin who had risked her life for his. Feeling braver than he had ever felt before, just as Dewey was making to pounce, little Johnny Morgan lowered his head and charged towards the rock directly atop the throne Dewey perched upon. Hitting it with a clatter, the shock caused the rock to fall and shatter atop one of Dewey's wings. Dewey let out a scream of anguish, but before he could say a single word, "Listen to me, you big bully of a bird. Johnny Morgan is my name. I am no hero great and tall, but I am the friend of a Hilary who may look small, but has the heart of a lion. Did no one ever teach you manners cost nothing? I stood here, listened to you bully, manipulate and threaten the dearest of my friends, a robin that means as much to me as any robin could. Well, buddy, I think you should fly away and never come back to take advantage of those who can't fight back." Dewey didn't need any time to work out if this was a bluff. With a stabbed look of hatred, he dived off the top and, nursing his damaged wing, lopsidedly flapped off and away. never to be seen at Aleri's causeway again. The two friends embraced and shared their gratitude. Both had shown on this journey the value and magnitude of having a true friend at your side when you decide to take the wilder ride through life. And as if it had been there the entire time, across the causeway, Johnny and Aleri suddenly noticed a flow of water cascading from on high. 20 feet of water plunging deep into a plum-dark pool, the spray hissing its way across towards them, the roar of noise tuned precisely to the beating of their hearts. I could tell you how the friends laughed with pure unfiltered joy, or how they dived into the water and let the cascading torrent wash away their worries and their fears. But I suspect, as Johnny Morgan had begun to, that it was not the waterfall but the road that they had taken over the valley walls to reach it, that gave them whatever it was these two small beings were looking for. Our time with little Johnny Morgan and red-breasted Aleri has come to an end. I am sure they will pop up in another tale at another time, for these friends continue to travel together and go on many adventures well beyond this, their first journey. But there are plenty of other stories here to tell, tales old and tales new, of daring escapes and oaths that bind, dark places and treasures to find. Next week, however, don't you think it's time we endeavor to meet some dragons? Into the green-flecked forests and alongside star-startled streams, up amongst the mountain thrones thrust into the sky, and through the frosted fern tips and burning breath of howling wind, we will return again. Nos dda, friend.